my Canva. Okay. So I really hope that, you know, we have an amazing discussion. Yes, so I'm talking about setting up your business for success from the marketing and sales perspective. So I'm going to be sharing my slides now. Okay, all right. So in these slides, I'll be talking about you, your business, the marketing channels. I'll be talking about growth strategies. I'll also be talking about marketing lessons from the Bible because we are kingdom people, right? So I just want to celebrate everyone on this call, every one of you, because bringing an idea to fruition is spiritual. I celebrate, you know, the grit. I celebrate the fact that God gave you an idea and you are here trying to make it a success. You are here trying to, you know, build your knowledge. You are here trying to build, you know, success for your business. I celebrate all of you. And then now that your idea has materialized into a tangible business, let's talk about marketing and growth for your business. So I believe Adedoyin would have spoken about a few of these things, but I'm just going to try to, I will still talk. I just want to say that these slides, I believe that the Holy Spirit will be giving me more words than what is on this slide. So let's just pay rapt attention. So whilst we plan marketing for our businesses, when we say, okay, this is my business, how do I, you know, get it to the people that needs it? So I always say that marketing strategy, the simple way to actually define it is that I have a product. I have made these glasses, for instance, and I know that there's someone somewhere looking for a blue light glasses. And I know that not even just somebody, I know 100, thousands of people are actually, you know, they're looking for how to get this. Oh, I want the original, I want it affordable, you know, all those specs. So marketing strategy is just saying, okay, how do I get to these people, which is the channel? Who influences my customer's decision? You know, because I may want to buy glasses, for instance, and and maybe my son or my daughter needs to pay something in school, you know, or my husband comes and say, why do you need blue LED glasses? How much do they sell all this for? It's the same work that they're doing. You know, what influences their decision? What language does my customer understand? So I'm going to be talking about all of this in what we call the marketing mix. So we call it 7 P's of marketing, which is the product, the price, the place, promotion. We also have what we call physical evidence. We have what we call physical evidence. We have what we call the people, and we have what we call the process. So we are going to start from your product, because I believe that maybe through this course, through this incubator strategy and through this business incubator, you probably talked about, oh, all of you, we already know what our product is. But in marketing it, in actually putting out your message, these are things that has to be, you know, in place. These are things that has to be in your messaging. You have to be sure, what does your product do? Who is your product target audience? I saw Adedoyin slide on the target audience breakdown, you know, talking about their occupation, talking about their age range, talking about their demographics generally. You know, you have to have that at the back of your mind, because you can't serve everybody. You know, she has said these things. I just feel like I'm repeating the things that she said. So, and how is your product different from what others offer? That is, you know, you doing, number one, your customer research. That is the target audience. You're checking for your customer's journey. You're checking also for your competitors' research. And sometimes, you know, people mistaking this competitors' research to, oh, what is my competitor doing? Let me do better. No, competitor research is just saying, okay, I'm not the only one. they always said there's nothing new under the sun. I'm not the only one that God probably gave that idea, but God gave me that idea in a unique way. However, this person selling their own glasses, maybe they change the frame, maybe they customize the frame. You're looking at it that, okay, so how do I stay different? How do I carve a niche for myself in this industry? That's why you see people say, I was speaking to a friend who's a makeup artist. She does minimalist makeup. I told her you can, and when she does brides that are Muslims, it trends better. I said you can actually brand yourself as she's also a Muslim, by the way. I told her you can actually, brand yourself as a Muslimah bridal makeup artist, so that with that, your target audience, the people who would like your kind of makeup, they are going to, gravitate towards you. So it's not that she wants to do makeup, she's doing Owambe, she's doing Owambe, she's doing corporate, and some people, they also, niche down to doing just corporate makeup artistry. So doing your competitor research, your customer research, and also your products, just ensuring that you have a good product. Because what will sell your brand is your product. The reason why you're recommending something to a friend is because you found it very helpful. So I would go to the place. Sorry, I would go to the place now. So where will you sell your product? Where does your target audience, where do they buy things from? What distribution channels are best ways to reach your target market? So I always give an example to my clients. So just imagine I want to start a piggery farm. I have thousands of dollars. Let's say I have $30,000, and I say, okay, I want to secure hectares of land, and I want to do animal husbandry. And I just feel that I just feel something in my mind telling me to go to Kano to start a piggery farm. How does that, how would you start a piggery farm in Kano? Your products, even though, you can say, oh, you're going to make it exportable, but your product is not even acceptable in your immediate environment. So this is to say that not all products sells everywhere. There are some products that you sell well on Facebook. There are some products that when you want to sell, you can't even take it to Facebook because they will stress the life out of you. I have clients that I run ads for, and I say, let's do Facebook, because Facebook people, they're always looking for things like this. There are some people, I'll tell them, see, let's run away from Facebook. There are some areas that is why when we want to buy something in Lagos, for instance, there are different markets. Imagine going to Balogun and you want to buy tomatoes in bulk. It's not possible. Or you go to Mount 12 and you want to buy laces, you want to buy your bridal lace at Mount 12. Even though someone has a shop there, it's not where people would actually gravitate towards. So this is just you saying, okay, this is the place, this is where, where does my, still putting your target audience in mind. And also what distribution channels. I've mentioned Facebook, Instagram. There's some businesses that are on Google. There's some and there's some that actually thrives. So digital channels that, sometimes interwoven as well. Some thrive across channels. So that is why you see some businesses, they're everywhere. It's not because they're everywhere on social media, not everywhere they actually go. That's because maybe they have, portions of clients that comes from each of this platform. And you have some, they say, okay, I'm focusing on the social media for now. Because when people know you on Facebook, when they know you on Instagram, when they know you on Instagram, there's a probability that, oh, you share your post to Facebook, they probably know you a bit. So your product has to be top notch. Your product has to be something to actually write home about, has to be something that speaks for itself. And also you have to think about the place. Also talking about price, there are different pricing strategies. You have to think about, number one, what is the price range of your product's competitors? So it's not that you want to go and say, okay, my competitor is selling at 1.5, me, I'm going to sell at 1.4 or 1.3, because my competitor is selling at 1.5, you have to have a justifiable reason. What is the price range of your target audience? What is their income? Imagine, being just trying to create a luxury fashion brand, and I say, okay, maybe one shoe is about 500,000. I'm selling a shoe that is 500,000 naira, and I then say that my target audience are maybe school teachers. That is not possible. So I have to actually say, okay, if I want to do luxury, that means that I have to target those who are elite, those who like luxury things, those who are. So these are things that actually determines your marketing mix, how you're able to, take your products to who needs it. I wanted to give, different pricing strategies. So there are different pricing strategies. There's one they call skimming. So skimming is just skimming is you trying to say, look around the market and say, oh, this is what the competitor is doing. How do I just skim around? How do I just make my products in between? Also, there's some people call it economy. Some people, they come into the market and they just create different level of prices for their business, for their products. That's why you go to Cold Stone, you have the small, you have the medium, you have the popcorn. The popcorn in ShopRite is a very good example. By the time you buy, that, I've forgotten the name they call it. Is it Celebration Pack? I can't remember. They have like three levels. But what they are actually doing is to say that, oh, even though we have something little, that one in the middle is the one they really want you to buy, because you'll be like, okay, how much extra? And it's not that the difference is actually a lot, but they've actually created that they call it economic pricing strategy. There's also cost pricing, which most entrepreneurs should actually imbibe. The cost pricing is, you're looking at everything that came together. Number one, I feel that people who do service-based business, they shortchange themselves. For example, you have to charge for the raw materials. You calculate money for raw materials. You calculate money for your time. How long did it take you to do that? You calculate money for the logistics, transport. Because at the end of the day, maybe you've worked so hard and you just feel that, if I put this price now, what would people say? But then this is you just trying to put a structure to your pricing. And at the end of the day, when you calculate it, my sister cooks. So I told, whenever she wants to do a price, I tell her, how much are the raw materials? How many hours will you spend cooking it? Your gas, how long does your gas take? How many kg do you feel that you're going to use? Up to 2 kg gas, you're going to add this. After adding all of that, so how much profit do you want to make? Do you feel that this customer is, do you feel that 50% profit on the raw, let's say the raw material is 50K. Do you want to say that, okay, 25K, or do you want to put it at 30%? So I think the most popular one is like a 30% profit on, your old products. Then there is one, I'm trying to remember the name now, it has escaped my mind, that people used to, they call it penetration pricing. So maybe for brands like Opay, when they wanted to enter Lagos, you just see, oh, get anywhere with 100 naira, get anywhere with 120. So they penetrated the market, and even Bolt, even Uber, that is what they call penetration price. So looking at the market you want to enter, how do you, make a name for yourself? How do you take over that industry? So those are things to consider when creating a pricing strategy. So promotion is, how do you promote your business? What is the best time to reach your target audience? What marketing channels? I'll be talking about marketing channels shortly. What marketing messages would most resonate? I believe that Adedoyin has spoken on your brand messaging. So I'm also talking about the people. This is very, 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 very important, because I take it to heart. The people in your business can actually make it or mar it. So, and the people is not just the customer. You're not just doing business, although you're doing your business for customers to come, but everybody, every people element who actually engages in your activity in the company, directly or indirectly, has to actually be put in mind. Because if if you have, I can actually count on the roof of my fingers brands that probably although the CEO very kind, very nice, but they have bad staff. You can't afford to have people who would actually mar the image of your brand. So the people in your business actually matter in the marketing of your brand, because everyone they contribute to the positive image of your brand. How people sees your brand. That is why you see a lot of brands. They do trainings for their staff. When you go to restaurants, for instance, and you see you actually communicate, or the waiters, the waitresses communicate with you, you can tell if these people are trained or untrained. You can always tell. So process, people, very, very important. It's not just saying come and buy. You have to actually let the people within the business, the customers, even people that probably, anybody that's actually just has a link to your brand, they are very important. You have to put this in mind while marketing your business. Process. So process in this age and time, has to be given utmost priority. You have to have a structure for your brand. I won't dwell much on this, but I want you to have at the back of your mind that is the processes of your brand that actually makes the experience of your customers. There are brands that I can maybe a few of us can actually relate. So maybe when you want to buy something on Instagram, you send a DM, and maybe in 10 minutes, 15 minutes, they're not responding. If I want to order something online and I need it urgently, I can chat 5 businesses at the same time. And it's whoever responds first, or whoever has maybe automated message that I buy from, if the price actually is within my budget. So those are processes that have been put in place. Some brands, they already created frequently asked questions in their Instagram DMs. They already have automated responses. Some people, because they know they are not good with social media, with DM, they hire people just for that. They're going to be helping me reply DMs, because everything, if everything has to actually, has to be working. And when you say deliveries within 2 to 3 days, you have to ensure that you deliver within 2 to 3 days. What processes are in place? There are brands that you can only order on their website. That's their process, because maybe they've had issues, they've had records of things going missing, or of mismanagement and everything. There are brands that, okay, you can send us a DM. There are brands that, they already have their delivery partners, and you can only patronize their delivery partner. They don't do pickups. Those are their own processes, and it works for them. I know a popular cosmetic brand. By the time you just put your address on our website, it's going to bring out 3 delivery companies. So it's whichever one that you want to pick, that you pick, and within days, as specified on that website, is going to come. So your process is very important. Also, physical evidence. These are 7 P's of marketing. Everything your customers see when you interact with your business, your testimonials. I always say that, as a business owner, you create a Google business, and ensure that you have people, you encourage your customers, old and new, to put a review on your page, because that is what helps you rank high, when people search for businesses like yours. Also, I wanted to say something. You can also, put your brand on top review companies. I know of Trustpilot. Trustpilot is where people go when they want to buy something, or when they want to patronize a service business. When they see your Trustpilot, will do their verification. So, you have to just ensure that people have good image. It's just the image of your brand. There are brands that when I see their logo, when just seeing their logo alone, I can tell, what people have said about them. Just seeing their name, you just have to create a positive image of your brand. So let's not forget the 7 P's of marketing. We have the physical evidence, the process, the people, promotion. We have place. We have the place. We have sorry, I'm trying to just work with time. We have the products and we have the price. So quickly, let's just talk about digital marketing channels. So I saw this when I came in, that Adedoyin has spoken about it, but I'm going to come from a different perspective, and I hope that we get blessed. So number one is social media marketing. So like I mentioned earlier, this age and time, we can't say that we want to run a business and it's not going to be on social media, because people no longer stay online. They no longer come online. They now live online. People now live online. They live on Instagram. They live on TikTok. They live on Facebook. Those that live, and different targets, different range of our population. You see, the older ones tilt towards Facebook. Maybe the older generation. That's because it's they can easily navigate it. You see the Gen Zs, tilt towards TikTok, and everyone in between, the Gen Z and everything, we're on Instagram. So depending on your target audience, you have to, put efforts, push for success on at least one social media platform. So for instance, the same brand owns Instagram. Meta has Instagram, WhatsApp, and Facebook. You can integrate your WhatsApp to your Facebook business. You can integrate your WhatsApp to your Instagram. You can integrate your Facebook to your Instagram. So they've done a good job. So even if it's that three that you're holding on to, and while talking about Instagram, while talking about marketing on Instagram, you have to, number one, I have like 30, there was a time I did like 30 days dosage on how to actually do well on Instagram. So number one thing is optimize your bio. Your bio has to speak to what you do. So as a business page, if you're not maybe a content creator and you don't want people to start searching for you as a content creator, what should actually be on your name should be something that directs people to what you do. So for example, you put people that sells, maybe I have a client that sells fashion things in Balogun Market, for instance. I just help her put that, fabrics, female fabrics, sample laces, this in Balogun. Because when people want to search for you, I can't wake up in the morning, I can't want to buy something online and the name will just come to me and I'll go and search for your name. What I'm going to search for is what I want to buy in relation to maybe the location, in relation to maybe the price, in relation to maybe, the niche. So if you have that on your name, it's going to, help people find you. That is apart from your username. And always advise also that your username should be something that you can recollect. There are brands that I know them, and everything I know about them, I know. Okay, can I go ahead, please?
Yes, please. Sorry.
Okay. So everything I know about these brands, their name, everything I know out of my way. That's because I just, there's some brands that you just know their name. Their name just sticks. So as a business owner, these are things to consider. And I want to say that. So some people, I had a client sometimes that said, oh, this name is not what is on my business. It's not what is on my business registration. What is on our business registration is so long. So I told her you can actually use a name and then, just use a username that is relatable. And with time, by the time you start communicating with your clients, they're going to know that, okay, you also own this brand, that this brand is also the owner of this brand. So your username has to be very, very relatable, very easy to remember. I also always prioritize what's it called? Hashtags. You can't underestimate the power of hashtags. So as a brand owner, you have to have hashtags that, number one, related to your brand, related to your business, related to your location. Because when I want to search anything now, if I want to buy eyewear, I'm talking about eyewear because I don't know, but maybe because I'm wearing it. I want to buy eyewear in Port Harcourt. What I search for on Instagram is eyewear in Port Harcourt. What I search on Google is eyewear in Port Harcourt. And by everybody that has used that hashtag definitely comes up. So not just using hashtag, maybe my brand name is Bolanle Fashion, as a Bolanle Fashion. Nobody would know that Bolanle has fashion business. It's that, although I can still use it for my own personal, hashtag. So when people search for Bolanle Fashion, not only my name pops up, my hashtag also pops up under it. But you have to have hashtag related to your location. So you can do like a general, maybe eyewear in Lagos, and then you now sectionalize, you now drag it down, you bring it down to your immediate location, because people around you, somebody around is probably looking for what you're selling and they don't know you sell. So if I put eyewear in Berger, eyewear in Magodo, that's what people would actually see. So hashtags are very, very important in your social media marketing, and also your content. So I'm still going to get to content marketing. I might not touch on it because I still have more things to talk about. So let me just talk about content on social media while I'm talking about this. So your content can be either exciting, educating, entertaining. You have to ensure that I see I don't know, you mentioned that when people come to your page, they are getting excited that, oh, I really like this page. Oh, this page is so fine. This person, dotted all our I's and crossed all our T's. And then they get to your page and they're seeing, okay, how to clean your eyewear, how to iron your clothes, how to use this, you're having how-tos, you're having what, you're having let me help you, you're having, so it's not everything that you're just posting, or maybe somebody that sells Google, for instance, many ways you can rock your Google, you're having styling, you're having different content. By the time some content just gets lost, you're just like, oh my God, this is so good. And then there's just something that springs in your belly that, oh, I really like this person. And to actually be factual, there are people who don't do all of these things and they still sell on Instagram. But as an excellent business owner, because beyond just selling, beyond just come and buy, you're actually building a name for yourself. There are brands, there are people that them. Someone like Andrews Island, I don't follow her, I don't know anything about her, but she just keeps coming up in conversations around people that market their brands shamelessly, on Instagram. There are brands that I know off the roof of my head. I don't even follow them. So let me just move to email marketing. So email marketing is, you can't sideline it. Email marketing is what would help you build a connection to your target audience, a connection to your audience. Email marketing it helps you build trust. Email marketing is just, it feels personalized. And email marketing is the best way you can actually offer value. So social media marketing, everything I'm saying, educating, entertaining, has to be value-based. That's why we see that these days, people now educate people even while entertaining them. That is where that's the landscape of content on Instagram these days. And if you can't do it by yourself, hire somebody to do it for you. I just thought to touch on that. So email marketing is where, as a brand owner, you bring people into, you bring your target audience into. And how do you bring them into marketing to them via your email? It's just something called lead magnets, quality lead magnets, because your lead magnets can actually attract people that are outside what you really want or who you really want. So quality lead, why do we call it lead magnet? It's like a magnet. It attracts your lead. Your customers, before they buy from you, are your leads. They are being led to you, to your brand. They're attracted. So something that that attracts your customer. And I believe that all of us here, we have brands that maybe we saw, oh, download this free cheat sheet, download, I have a webinar, a free webinar on this, and then you just put your email. There are lots of ways that you can actually, create lead magnets. For instance, a fashion brand, you can just say, oh, body types and clothes that fit. People are always looking for things like that. You're just going to look at the gap between the knowledge gap within your target audience, and you're going to create a solution to it, and then you get lead magnets. So in getting lead magnets, for instance, you can communicate with them personally. Hello, Oluwadunsi. You're able to, segment them. These people are of this age. These people, this language will not appeal to them. You're able to just do a lot of things with people in your email. So one day, Instagram can wake up and something happens. Maybe Instagram gets, they ban your account, they block your account. But your email, you have their emails for life. And then there's something we call funnel in marketing. And we have, in that funnel, we have AIDA, awareness, interest, desire, and action stage. And for all of your marketing, all of your, putting things online, there's what we call awareness. There's when people get aware of your brand. I just found this page, I really like them, or, and then you just start doing maybe you get their emails in that awareness stage. There are a lot of them at the top of that funnel. And then, gradually, some people, they just found your page, and maybe the number one, they might not be interested in maybe what you're saying at that time. Number two, but then gradually, people start getting interested in what you do. It becomes smaller, and then they begin to desire it. And how do you get them to desire? You begin to give them value, and then under the value, you then put something and say, oh, because you're my subscriber, you give them discounts. You're able to, when you have their birthdays, if you're able to create lead magnet that can get their birthdays. For instance, people that sells fashion things, if you sell beauty products, people want to look beautiful before their birthdays. They just want to look beautiful. There's just a sense of, I have to look beautiful. Prior to their birthday, you're already sending them happy birthday in advance. Get a 10% discount if you buy so products. I'm telling you, that thing has worked for me before. People will look for that money and say, these people, they remember my birthday. It's not that you remember, they just set, a calendar reminder. So email marketing is where you can actually make use of all these things. Seasons, birthdays, Christmas, New Year, Valentine is coming. You are already sending an email on January 31. It's love season. How do you, show love? You're already sending emails. As you're doing social media, you're already doing emails, and you just put your lead. You ensure that your lead magnet is running, and you can keep creating different lead magnets for different purposes. So I would move quickly to paid advertising. I will be dwelling on a few of this. I won't be dwelling on all of it. Paid advertising. Paid advertising is paid ads. People always wonder that why do people run ads? I see a lot of business owners still in this day and time. They are still thinking that why should I pay Facebook to run ad for me? So some people think maybe Facebook gets paid. The only way they make revenue in Facebook is this advert, because we don't pay them to use their channel. MTN does not pay them for the data. So that is why they give priority to those who pay them. And a lot of the people spend a lot of money. You have to ensure that in your marketing strategy, this is the best, one of the things that paid advertising would do for you. Facebook ads, Instagram ads is going to give your brand visibility. So I have brands that I save their ads on my post. I might not patronize them immediately, but I already know them. And when I have a need for their brand, I know where to go. So you get visibility, you get your new faces to see your business, not just your followers. Because in all of your followers, if you have 1,000 followers, I promise you that I think it's 20% or 18% of them that Instagram shows it to. And in that 18% or 20%, all of them cannot be online at the same time. That is why you just see that the algorithm keeps changing. But then when you run ads, new people keep seeing your ad. And if you engage on somebody's ad once, you see that Instagram will keep bringing them. If you search for a product, if I search for eyewear in Port Harcourt now by mistake, all the ads And I also want to also say that spending money on ads should actually be like a budget for your brand. When you want to do your monthly branding budget, you say, okay, I want to spend so amount on ads every month. I believe that within 3-4 months, you're going to get your return on investment. There is high return on investment. And I also want to say email marketing is, one of the cheapest marketing strategies. And it's actually the one with maybe the most ROI if done well. So there is ROI on paid advertising. You have to actually inculcate it. You have to ensure that you always set it to advertise. You can use Instagram. Facebook and Instagram are together. When you run an ad from Facebook, you can show on Instagram. It's not even compulsory that you run it from Facebook and it shows on Facebook. You can say that I don't want it to show on Facebook. And there is in marketing, in paid marketing, I always tell my clients, today, maybe because of dollar rates, maybe you can spend like 1,600 per day. I always tell them, don't spend 1,600 per day, because what we are doing is auction buying. It's like a bazaar. How many brand owners, let's say hundreds of brand owners that sell the same thing that I sell, they also want to try to run ads to get customers. So I have to actually increase my budget by a bit so that I'm being given top priority. Is the higher people pay, the higher they show their ads to people. So I always tell them, please, so let's not, this is like a bazaar that we are entering. So community marketing, very, very important. Community these days, I don't even know how to put it. You have to actually, number one, be in a community or build a community. So for somebody like me, I've tried to build communities like 2 times, and because I get overwhelmed easily and I'm always engrossed in whatever I'm doing part-time. So I've not been able to build a community, but I belong to communities. And in my communities, they know what I do. So community marketing, you could actually build your community. And building your community, you don't have to gather people like I wanted to do. You can just be on that Instagram. You just, somebody like Dario of the Kitchen Nova has a community. She calls them besties. So it's imaginary for her when she started calling people besties. But they felt attracted to her because she carries them along. They feel that they are a part of what she's doing. There's just a sense that I belong here that she gives them. So I think the only community she has is those for people that are looking unto God for a child. She doesn't have a community for besties outside Instagram. And because of the Instagram effect, you see our besties everywhere. On YouTube, they are there commenting because she has built that community over time. When Dario of Nigeria wanted to start a business, it was a community till today. She has not used any influencer marketing. She hasn't done much. She does email marketing. The brand does email marketing, top-notch email marketing. They do paid ads, but it's even been long that I saw their paid ads. But a community keeps giving. So you either stay in a community, ensure that you're active in a community, or you build one. There are brands that people just stay loyal to them because they feel connected to. People who just want to be loved. That is why on Instagram, they put the love button as like, because there's just this sense of this person likes me. Collaborative marketing. There are lots of ways you can actually collaborate. There are lots of ways. This is also called partnership marketing. I always tell my clients that, it's not until there are lots of ways. It's not until you announce, oh, this person is collaborating with this person. No. So it could be as simple as maybe you sell baby things. Your friend sells maybe things for moms. And in a shop, you can just tell her, oh, can I kindly have my roll-up banner in your shop? Can I put my flyers in your shop? Can we do like a collabo, maybe just one Instagram post, do like, wearing the mom stuff, wearing the child stuff, just saying that, we are coming together. There are lots of ways you can collaborate. There are lots of ways you can partner. You have to explore, collaboration actually brings more results because you're spending less and then you're being seen by a new audience. Your your collaborators' audience gets to know you, maybe for the first time. And when you even associate with certain brands, it gives you another edge. Yeah. Please, are we following? I want to see comments. Feels like I'm talking to myself. Are we following, please?
Yes, we are.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. All right, so influencer marketing next. I believe that many of us, we actually know that influencer, I did a course on influencer marketing sometimes. As a matter of fact, before I passed that course, it took me a long time because it's really beyond it's really beyond just talking to a big person that come and post my brand. So influencer marketing is not even when you get somebody with 1 million followers. Anybody around you can influence for you. So an influence is something is so, how do I put it? Influence literally is the fact that that person has the ability, that person has the aura, that person has something that attracted those people to them. And then when they recommend it, they just take it. There are things that there are courses that are probably paid for because I saw somebody talk about it. So you have to always get people to talk about your brand. And when you want to talk about influencer marketing as well, you want to maybe go the broad way. And you say, okay, maybe on Instagram, for instance, a lot of big brands that maybe have over 100,000 followers now, they charge a lot, and you have a budget for that. You can go for micro influencers. Christian influencers, they are micro, they have less than 10K, they have maybe 5,000, but you check their page. You have to ensure that, number one, the influencer aligns with your business goals. The influencer has your target audience. Hey God. The influencer has your target audience on their page. The influencer actually can influence those you want to sell to. Because except it's water, or except it's not even all kind of food, not all target audience would actually, be attracted to certain type of food. So influencer marketing ensure that this brand that wants to influence for you has your target audience, aligns with your brand goals, aligns with your brand purpose. And also, I always also say this to my clients, that give them creative freedom. Because when you don't give influencers creative freedom, you are the one telling them what to do. They are not able to communicate to their audience the way they would normally, speak to their audience. So here I have affiliate marketing. For those who are probably course creators, affiliate marketing is one of the ways that we can get other people to sell for you, and then you pay them commission. It's a marketing strategy that somebody like Tony Omotosho that owns Expertnet, just wrote a course, 72 IG course, and brought affiliates to sell that course. He will pay them. Sometimes I think he paid 50% off 60K, and made a lot of people millionaires. And himself, he blew off doing that. So, affiliate marketing is something to also look into. This would, because I have my audience, Tade has his audience, Tola has our audience. So by the time they say, okay, they bring 10 people from their audience, it's better than me trying to sell to 100 people that are new. So they are selling people that they know, people that already know them, they already like them, they already trust them. So it's better and easier to sell to those people. So I talk about relationship marketing. Relationship marketing is, you have to, build relationship with your customers. Customers become loyal based on the relationship you actually built with them over time. So relationship marketing is you having a reward system. It's not even until you buy them a house or buy them a car. It could be something as little as, when you refer to people to my brand, or on your next order, you get 5% discount. Or when you refer 5 people, so you could only, just create a reward system around your brand that would keep your brand top of mind. That will keep your brand top of mind to your customers. You have to building relationship is a marketing strategy in itself. SEO, I had Adedoyin talking about this and content as well. So offline marketing. So I know that I'm supposed to talk about digital marketing, but I'm always very, 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 very passionate about this offline, because these days, because people now, I sell on Instagram, but then there are still people offline that probably would meet you offline, then get to know you online. So I always say that, just create your business card, create your business flyer. It might not be the old flyer where it could just be like something, this thing, and ensure that you have your QR code on your flyer. That's when they scan it, it takes them to your social media platform. When they scan it, it takes them to your WhatsApp. When they scan it, that is you, integrating tech into your offline marketing. And also event promotion. Some events, they don't need 1 million from you. They just want somebody to pay for the food. When I was working for that tech startup, I reached out to, to a co-working space, this big co-working space. They wanted to have like a conference. I said, I told my the founder that, okay, I think we could speak to these people. Let's see, how we can come to partner with them. And when I reached, I said, no, we just need people to maybe buy water. I say water. And in that event, we're able to, you're able to share your flyers, you're able to share about your business, you have your roll-up banner, you have your barcode. And when you also wear clothes that, has your brand on them, put your barcode. And people are so curious that, what's this thing? And then when they scan the barcode, it leads them to your profile. It leads them to the best things about you. With that, people get to know you. And the best way to actually sell is when people know you. People have to get to know you first. And that's that AIDA. They have to like you and they have to trust you to be able to actually pull money out of their pocket. So until people know you, they can't like you. And if they don't like you, they can never trust you. We call it the KLT factor in marketing. So cold calling is also a way of offline marketing. Cold calling is maybe when you have data of people that are your target audience, just reaching out to them that, we have this service to offer. Sometimes, this gives good results, but is a game of numbers. I can't seem to see. So I put promotional products. I know that this promotional product is what we are all aware of. What's going on? I'm almost done. I put word of mouth because word of mouth is, you have to always talk about your brand. Nobody can talk about your business the way you would talk about it. You have to wear your brand. You have to always talk about your brand. You have to always, let people know what you do. And in that relationship, I always tell my clients that your clients, anybody that actually comes in contact with your business, they are your brand evangelists. And they could be good evangelists or bad evangelists. And I tell you that for each person, for one person that comes into in contact with your brand, they have 1,000 more people that can buy from you. So that is why the people, for your brand are very, very much important. The people that, are coming in contact with your brand, they are very, very much important. So now to growing your business. So of course, all those marketing channels, they still apply when you want to grow your brand. And I want to also want you all to note this. So all those channels, there are a lot, right? I always say that you can't do everything at once. Just pick maybe 3 and say, we want to test these strategies over the next 3 months. I know a lady that sells luxury wigs. Her wigs are $500 and above. Or she has some $250, but the ones she sells in dollars and she doesn't. So she said she uses influencers. And when does she use influencers? She uses influencers during festive period, towards festive period, because that's when people they save money, they want to look good for the new year or towards. So, and then I told her that, do you know what you can do? She said she uses influencer marketing because how many people does she want to run ads to? And tell them to come and pay $500 after meeting hours. I said, there's something you can do. And that is what paid marketing would do for you. Something you can do is that paid marketing would allow you, Facebook would allow you to retarget people that has visited your page over the past 1 year. So let's say for 3 months, you ran influencer marketing, 2 influencers, they did that for her. And she has maybe like 92,000 visitors on her page. And that 92,000 followers, maybe people that visited her page, maybe 50 of them were able to buy. So what now happened to the 91,000 plus remaining? I told her that, so number one is we can say that maybe 80% of them, maybe they just came to check your page. But that 20% that should be your customer, there are a lot of factors why, there are lots of reasons why they might not buy at that time. Maybe they have, other, on their scale of preference, is not a preference for them at this time. Or they just don't have the money, but they already have you at the back of their mind. But it's very easy to forget you because other people also sell what you sell. So why not, after that 3 months of intensive influencer marketing, run a retargeting ad to all of them and then see the results? So retargeting, all of these strategies, even though you don't do all of them at once, you have to also be strategic about it. You have to say, okay, after doing influencer marketing, what next? Over the next 3 months, I want to run ads for my brand. So in the first month, second month, we do awareness traffic ad. And then the third month, we do a retargeting ad. We create a very, very mouth-watering offer that people cannot resist. And then we retarget everybody that's visited our page over the past 2 months. All of them, they will see it. This person is, that's why there are brands that they do media sales. People are already looking forward to their media sales because they already created that signature for themselves. 20% off. You just create a mouth-watering offer and you retarget them. And then, boom, there's sales, there is growth. So going down to growth strategies, growing your business, you have to, so there are different stages of business. I believe that, they've actually spoken about it in this incubator. There's a phase where you feel that, okay, my business has now matured. So what is next? So that's where product and customer diversification comes in. When you begin to diversify your brand, you begin to diversify, okay, now I'll be serving babies. How do I extend? Can I serve toddlers? Can I serve children? Then what offers, what products can I create that would, appeal to this set of people? Also, you could also actually diversify into a complementary product, so that when people buy bread from you, they know that you have a car. When people buy makeup from you, they know that you have setting spray. When people buy makeup from you, they know that you're selling a course that teaches them how to apply the makeup. When people buy boo-boo from you, they know that they can buy an headpiece to give them that rich and see look. When people buy eyewear from you, they know that they can buy maybe a scarf to give them that funky look. This is now you trying to say, okay, now that I have stayed on this business and this brand has actually grown over time, how do I diversify? You're diversifying customer on the customer level, and then you're diversifying on product level. And also, diversifying on products doesn't mean that you're probably increasing the price or you're doing a bigger product. There's something going on in Nigeria now. Nigeria is now a sachetized economy. Just recently, I saw Bama sachets. I was so surprised that Bama again is sachet. That is them diversifying because the buying power in Nigeria has reduced drastically. So they are looking to actually serve the low-income sets of people. So that is them, trying to diversify. That's them trying to, grow their brand, hire appropriately. Don't allow 2 people do the job of 10 people. Don't allow 1 person do the work of 14 people. It's going to affect your brand. And don't allow 10 people do the work of 1 person. It's very tricky. But I believe that, when 2 people are doing the work of 14 people, it's going to overwhelm the brand and it's going to drag growth. When you see that you're expanding, you need more hands, try to hire appropriately. Also try to penetrate the markets. Ensure that, that sachetization, oh God, that sachetization is a good way to penetrate a new market and also plan for growth. I want to, this brand, this business I'm building is not just for shere. I am planning for growth. So I'm almost done. Yeah. So I actually curated these marketing lessons from the Bible. And I just, hope that we're able to get, there are a lot of them, but then these ones actually resonate with me the most. So in Proverbs 27 verse 2, the Bible says, let another man praise thee and not your own mouth, a stranger and not your own lips. So this talks about testimonials. You can't underestimate the power of testimonials. That is part of building a relationship with your customer. So the process of your brand, maybe purchase, you've created that process. After purchasing, you check up on them. Have you received your order? After receiving their order, 3 days, have you tested the shoes? Are they your perfect size? You already set that process. And then you say, oh, when you wear the shoe, please don't forget to give us a review. Some people would respond, some wouldn't. But if you ask 10 people and 4 people respond, I think it's good. So you can't, and ensure that you're plastering testimonials everywhere. So there was a research that was done by an advertising agency. So they created a landing page. They created a landing page and they didn't put testimonial. Nobody bought from that page. But the instant they put testimonial, within few days, they sold out. So testimonials are great tools, and the Bible has encouraged us, as much as nobody can speak well of your brand like you, there are people that has experienced your brand and they have to speak about it. So focus on helping others. Focus on helping others. The Bible says the generous, Proverbs 11:25, the generous soul shall be made rich. And Luke 6:38 says, give and it shall be given unto you. Good measure, pressed down, shaking together and running over. Shall men give unto your bosom? For the same measure that you meet without, it shall be measured to you again. This is you, you're running your business. You're running it like, you're not coming from a place of, I want to make profit off you. Once I collect my money, that's fine now. You're following up. So, and the follow-up might not be via DM, because that can be stressful. If you're looking to build, a multinational brand, for instance, you can't do all of that. But with email marketing, with the lead magnets, creating a lead magnet in itself is an ethical way, is a way of helping people. I'm a makeup artist and I did a video on how to, do a perfect eyebrow. And I just do the ad. I tell people, put this thing. You're collecting their data while you're helping them. Ensure that, it's just about, even when Jesus was here, before he healed, before he knew he was going to raise Lazarus, but he was compassionate. He said, I think Matthew 14:14 now, he said, and Jesus had compassion on them and he healed their sick. So Jesus came as a perfect example for us as believers. If you're running a brand, we should come from a place of compassion. What can I do to help my customer? That is how you're able to create content even. So we're able to, imbibe our Christianity into what we do, be audacious. So when Jesus was here, Jesus is our perfect, is our role model, He said he was audacious, he was bold, he preached his message, he was so, somebody walked up to him and said, oh, that young ruler. Jesus told him, he said, looking at him, loved him and said, go your way, sell whatever you have and give to the poor. You would have treasure in heaven. Come up and take the cross and follow me. So Jesus was audacious about his message. He didn't think that, we didn't understand like this. We didn't understand. He said it. So, while marketing your brand, you have to be audacious. You know the value that you carry. Your brand is valuable. As much as you're focusing on giving value, you have to also be audacious with, speaking your message with your message. Your message has to be oh God, how do I put this? Your message has to be boldly, when you see an audacious brand, you know them. When you meet people that are audacious, you know them. And the last but not the least is to seek and grow relationships. I can't overemphasize this. Your business, your brand, marketing your brand is not just about posting content. It's not just about, it's the people that makes your brand. And the word customers first actually means that you meet their needs. You meet their needs first before your profit. So you have to seek and grow relationships. In the case of the woman, the Good Samaritan, Jesus, when he was here, he had a target audience. I hope we all know his target audience were the Jews. He was focused on them. So when he spoke to the woman at the well, and the woman said, you're not a Jew now. Why are you speaking to me? And talk less of even asking me for water. But then Jesus spoke. Jesus saw through her, told her about herself. She was dazed. She was the one that then started broadcasting about this. Come and see in verse 30. Come and see. It is when you've actually, when you've built something on the heart of your customers, they are able to say, come and see. And always remember that for one person that comes in contact with your brand as a customer, they have 1,000 more people that can come through them. And the best way to get them to actually, be your business evangelist, building a relationship with them, and also building, just creating a space in your heart for them. So I'll close this with a very short story of myself. So I run businesses. I like to run businesses, but I've been on break for the past 2 years because I'm in a new season. And when I was in Ibadan, I moved to Ibadan to start a new life. And I didn't know anybody. How do I start a life where I didn't know anybody? So I ventured into selling agri products. I packaged Gari Jebu. I packaged honey beans. I started selling all of those things. And at the time, I then put honey into what I was selling, pure original honey. So one day, the Holy Spirit just inspired me. I didn't know anybody, but I was doing social media. So I even had I have a customer that buys from me all the way from Kaduna. So on social media, I started making friends in Ibadan and all. But then one particular one struck out for me, and I still reel in, the fact that I obeyed that voice. So when I was in uni, I was a campus ambassador to a beauty pageant. And the man that anchored that lived in Ibadan. So I didn't really build much relationship with him, but he knows me and I know him. We know ourselves off social media. So I reached out to him. The Holy Spirit said I should package a few things. I packaged my Gari Jebu, my honey, and I sent to his office. And this man, he took a picture and posted it. This honey was sent to me by my daughter. She farms by this farms, this and that, and he put it on his status. From that status only, I think I got 2 orders, but one struck out for me. That woman has a chain of restaurants in Ibadan. She then messaged him that how much does she sell? At that time, I think the should have talked about price. He gave me the woman's number. And I tell you that till date, 4 years later, just that act, even after I had left Ibadan since 2021, till date, I am the one that supplies that woman honey. I supply her every 2 weeks. I no longer run the business for now, but every 2 weeks. So this afternoon, as I was preparing yesterday as I was preparing my slides, it just occurred to me, what if I have not listened? So that is us running our business with the Holy Spirit. I didn't do an ad for that woman to know me. Somebody just put on his WhatsApp status. So let's just ensure also that the Holy Spirit is our greatest marketing strategist. And with this, I say thank you for having me. Hello. Can anybody hear me?
Yeah, thank you so
Yeah,
much,
thank you so much.
Bolani. Yeah.
Yeah, so do you have any
Yeah,
questions?
I think we can take any questions if there are questions. Bemi, I don't know if Bemi is there. Okay.
So I think I have a question. I would like to ask, hi Bolani. So what do you recommend? How often do you recommend Instagram ads should be run? And would you recommend an awareness ad over a sales ad for someone just starting out?
Yes. Okay. Thank you for the question. So I think I would always say just run your ad at least 7 days, depending on your budget. Some people have their ad running all year. St. Tracy's ad she runs her ad all year. But depending on your budget, you can start with, oh, let me do it 7 days in a month. Let me do it 14 days in a month, and just track and ensure that you are being strategic about it. When people are receiving salaries, ensure that it's towards that time, especially. Also, as to awareness or sales ad. So an awareness ad or a traffic ad would help you build traffic to your page. So depending on your goal at that time, one thing also we have to do when we are setting up our marketing strategy is we need to actually have short-term goals and long-term goals. So depending on your goal at that time, do you want more people to know about you? So you can say, okay, in 3 months, let me do awareness ad maybe for the first 2 months. And then the last month, you're running a sales ad that would retarget all of those people. And then you do another ad to a new audience that would be a sales ad. Okay, was that clear enough?
Yes, that makes sense. So what I did recently was I tried to run an ad from Facebook Meta.
Yeah.
But I found out that Facebook pushed majorly all the traffic to Facebook, and I really wanted most of it to be on Instagram. So I created like an ad, and one ad with different ad sets, but it was all related to like accessories. But
Okay.
it said so a carousel probably would have like 18,000 views, and then a reel just had like 2,000 views. So I switched off all my Facebook targeting, so it redirects only to Instagram. When I checked the insights, it was like it only pushed out of all the ad sets. So on Facebook, it was pushing them at different frequencies. But then on Instagram, it's like you only just picked one ad set out of the whole thing. Out of the ad sets. I ran that. So I was really upset. I was like, you guys really, this like, so
Okay.
Facebook has tired. I'm just like, you guys need to be like, at least divide your portion. So, I don't even know what I was trying to get at. But, for real now, I've forgotten my question.
You're talking about your ad sets that, how do
Yeah.
you?
Yes. So I think I will think about the question and come back.
Okay, so but you can actually run the ad and remove Facebook from placement
Yes.
from the
So,
beginning. So
yes.
maybe you should just try to run the ad from the beginning. And to also say that actually running ads to Facebook is always very sweet. You have plenty people, you have plenty views, but the conversion on Instagram is higher. Because
Yeah.
Facebook will stress you if your product is, beyond market price. If they are selling that earring in the market for maybe 2,000 and you're saying that your own, that you made with your hands, they don't know the source or anything. They would even come and put in your DM. So, Facebook are very stressful. So I feel that Instagram, running your ads directly to Instagram gives you more value and better conversion because people, they are more knowledgeable.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you. I'll do that next time. Thank you.
Okay. Another question. Okay. Bemisola, do you want to speak?
Good evening. Thank you so much. I don't know if anybody has any other question. I couldn't unmute myself earlier on because There was so much noise in my background. Bolanle, thank you so much. I think the session has been really full. I don't know if nobody has any more questions, we'll probably just close out for the evening. I think I don't see any question in the chats, and I don't see anybody hand up. We want to appreciate you once more for coming on board. I don't know if the slides you shared, I don't know if you want to share with us, but there are any other things, because I know that I heard you say there might have been some other things you wanted to touch on, but if you have materials or something else we could share with the participants in our WhatsApp group so that they could make use of it. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining this evening and staying tuned. Good night. That's all I have to say. Thank you.
Thank
Bolanle.
you, sis. Thank you so much. Thank you,
Thank you,
everyone.
So
everyone.
much. God bless you.
Bye.
Good night.
Thank you,
Bye.
Bolanle. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Melanie. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Bye.